Good morning. There we go. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to my morning huddle that happens every day at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here in my lovely home of Walton Hills, Ohio. So, welcome. Hi, if you are joining me today, come and say hello. Come say hi. Say hi, I'm here. I'm joining your morning huddle. And today, during the morning huddle, I want to talk about something that I just talked about. Hi, good morning. Hi, Trisha. I'll be talking to you in about 30 minutes. So, yeah, so I want to talk about this morning the word business acumen. Oh my goodness, what's business acumen? So, I said in these morning huddles we were going to talk about mindset, strategy, goals, and everything business. So, and I also mentioned that we're going to talk a lot about like how to sell, right? That's my MO, like how to sell, how to talk to prospects, all of that. But then, of course, I had this great conversation this morning, and I want to talk a little bit about like business acumen and like how we start to grow our business and how sometimes we do that a little bit backwards. So think about your business. Think about your business and think about what you sell. And when you are looking at a business, what you sell, there's this thing called a business model. A lot of people call it a business plan, but it's actually a business model. So the difference between a business model and a business plan is something that you hand over to bankers and to investors and say, please give me money. A business model is something that you create for yourself to know how you're running your business and if your business is successful. Good morning. Thanks for coming in and saying hi. So typically what we do when we start a business is we come up with a great idea and then we want to go out and share it with the world. So I want to take you through the steps of a business model. They're very simple, and we'll talk about why they're important too. So morning huddle, we're talking about business acumen, business model, and this is going to help you set goals for your business, for your day, for your week, and it's also going to include strategies. There's two things in here. So when it comes to a business model, the first thing is what's called your executive summary. Okay, that's so boring. So instead of saying executive summary, this is your business, this is your idea, this is your brand, this is what you sell, this is the problem you solve, this is it, this is the meat and potatoes. In a business model, the executive summary is all of those things about who you are, the history of you, what your product is, what your service is, what results you give, all of that stuff. And so many times we spend a lot of time on that, right? So much time on that we don't spend enough time on the second part of a business model, which is your revenue stream and your financials. Also so boring, right? Nobody wants to work on their revenue stream and their financials because the word revenue stream and the word financials is just awful. So let's change it. So instead of the word revenue stream and financials, we're just going to put goals. So we have executive summary, which is everything that we sell. And then there's financials, which is goals. How much money do I want to make? And then the last one is how? What are my revenue streams? So revenue streams are simply, who am I selling this to? This is my audience. Who am I selling this to? Am I selling this via direct to consumer? Am I selling this to one person at a time? Am I selling this to B2B, like to corporations, to organizations? Am I selling wholesale? Am I e-commerce? Am I markets? Am I events? So how do I make money? Those are your revenue streams. So let's go through it again. We've got our executive summary. This is what we sell. This is our brand. This is what we're passionate about. This is what we love. And this is where we're spending all of our time because we love it so much. We love it. But then we're wondering why people aren't buying. We're spending all this time on that. Those other two, what's my goal? I want to make $10,000 from my passion. I want to make $10,000 from my passion. Just making that up, right? So what are my revenue streams? How am I doing that? Am I one-to-one? Am I B2B with organizations or corporations? Am I wholesale, retail, e-commerce? What are my revenue streams? And if you don't know what your revenue streams are, that's a really good place to start too, right? So this is real basic. You may already have all of this. It's really basic, but I wanted to share it. Good morning. I wanted to share it because I just had this great call with a friend and we were talking about it. So I wanted to share it with you guys. So I'm going to open it up for like anyone who is with us. If there are challenges that you're facing going into this week, some of those challenges that I've been finding and that I've been seeing is just the whole prospecting. How do I get people in front of me? How do I get people to talk to me? And then once I do get people to talk to me, what the heck am I supposed to say to them? So, so let's start with how do you get people in front of you? Uh-oh, I'm gonna lose my charger. Give me a second, I'm coming back. Okay. Give me a sec. Okay. So how do I get people in front of me? and the simple to that. So I am a huge fan of direct outreach. I'm not going to go through the whole thing right now, but one of the 4 ways that you get people in front of you, one of those 4 ways is through direct outreach. And if you work with me, you know that you are putting together that direct outreach plan every single week and looking at the results. So on a small scale of your business model, if you have your offer, service, product, your executive summary, what you sell, and you have a goal for this week, whatever that goal is, I want to get a client, I want to sell $6,000 worth of candles. I don't know. So you have your goal set, and then you have your revenue stream of how you're going to do that. So then there's the activities that you need to be doing, right? So one of those activities is good old-fashioned direct outreach. Nobody wants to do it, but oh my goodness, it works so well. It works better than hoping or word of mouth or one more time hoping, or maybe somebody will come to my website, or maybe somebody will watch my video. Works way better than all of that. So outreach basically can be very simply just searching through and looking for who your audience is and who your ideal client is and asking them for a conversation. So in my prospecting model, when you're scripting, it is simply, hi, notice that we run in some of the same circles. This is what I do. This is what I see that you do. Would you like to connect? And that is direct outreach for you. We'll go into more detail through these huddles of like why that prospecting channel works so well. It works so well because it's not threatening, it's not spammy, it's not salesy. But the reason why it works so well is because you get somebody in front of you. You get somebody in front of you, and if you're showing up authentically and you're showing up with intention of actually getting to know somebody, then you're not going to come across salesy at all. So in some of the upcoming huddles, we'll talk about what does this conversation sound like? What does a discovery call and a coffee chat conversation? What are the steps that lead to a conversation to a potential sale? Obviously, every conversation isn't going to turn into a sale. Even for me, who has been told I can sell a popsicle to an Eskimo, even for me, I don't sell to every potential client that I talk to. So the expectation of that is null. But getting comfortable with prospecting, direct outreach, and getting comfortable with these one-on-one conversations is so huge. It can be transforming. It can be game changing for your business. So that's something, if you're challenged this week of how am I going to hit this goal, here are my revenue streams. The formula, one of the formulas for activating sales and generating income in your business is to use a formula called the Q times Q equals R formula. Quality times quantity equals results. So if you're reaching out to a quality audience with a certain number of times, your result will be getting in front of them. Sometimes we don't want to do that because once we get in front of them, we don't know what to do. And that's what I'm going to teach you, what to do once you do get in front of them. But one of your goals for this week can be, okay, I'm going to do this outreach that Dora said, and I'm going to reach out to 10 people and say, hey, can we get together and chat? And I'm going to schedule those. And then Dora's going to teach me how to have these conversations during the morning huddles. So, yeah, we can do this together. We love our businesses. We are so passionate about our businesses. We can do this together. We just need some business acumen. We need to know how to grow our businesses, and we need to move our feet and do it, right? So, yes, thank you all for joining. If there's some topics that you really want me to cover during these morning huddles, feel free to Facebook message me. Today, once again, we talked about what is a business model, what's executive summary, what are your goals, what are revenue streams, and then we talked a little bit about some goals around outreach, how to go out there and prospect, what to ask for, and the call to action is never to sell. The call to action is always to connect. And then we talked about the formula of finding that audience, reaching out to them, and scheduling these meetings. And that's just one activity, by the way. So tomorrow we'll talk more about some prospecting. We'll talk more about some discovery calls. If you want to talk about your challenges, please come in and share them with us. Happy to answer questions and such. So yeah, and these will be going on for a while. I am going to Miami on Friday, so I'm not going to have a huddle on Friday. But Wednesday and Thursday, we'll definitely have a morning huddle, help you end the week strong, and then we will start again next week. Thank you for joining me, and see you all tomorrow. Have a blessed day.